What's up, city builders? Welcome back to Cities Skylines 2. We're jumping straight into episode number 2 for Sherborne. Today, we are going to be expanding the city in a big way. We're starting off with a bit of a time lapse that I'm going to comment on. So we are going to be building a lot more roads today. And we're starting off with basically just expanding our grid, making it a bit more interesting. Our town at the end of episode number 1 looked like a giant rectangle, and I am alleviating that problem in this episode. As you can see, I've changed this road to a nice big 4-lane. It's going to be our arterial that's going in that direction. And we are just continuing this beautiful embankment. Super cool feature, but I do wish they add some more control to it. Maybe just a separate key asset. As you can see, right now I am fixing the terrain, softening it out, sorry. And here are we doing a little curve, because curves is what makes cities interesting, especially North American cities that are primarily grids. And so we're building off of that now. One of the biggest things to help make grids look interesting is creating angles. And this is what we're going to attempt here with this road going under the bridge. It's going to be our kind of circular road around the city. Here I'm testing out a new feature called, I think it's Replace. And this is a super powerful feature because, as you can see, you have fine-tuned control over a road. So I'm shifting it a bit to the side so we can pass under the bridge. Really cool feature. Sort of a pain in the ass to use, but still very cool that stuff like this is in vanilla. Yeah, we're continuing this road all the way out. It's going to be a big one for the outside of the city. And then we are actually putting a curve on this side too, next to the cemetery. And this road's going to meet up with that one, but obviously our tile is ending there. So for now, we're going to be fine. And we're also expanding this road down to our industry main arterial. I think this is a nice frame. We're also going to be expanding this road to connect back with the arterial. Or rather, actually no, we're just going to keep going with it. So this is our main road. We're going to fix this one because, as you can see, it was kind of not the best angle. That road in general up top is not the best angle, but that's what's going to make our city a bit more interesting. But as you can see, we're using a road from our existing grid to kind of make a proper angle arterial going through there. And this is looking much better to me. Now, obviously, we're going to delete this road and rethink our terrain here a little bit. And I think in general this is working already a lot better. So what I'm gonna do here is I'm gonna test out the new kind of embankment system for roads using the road on the very coast of the water. So to do that, we first have to prepare our terrain a bit. So this was my first attempt at it. I've seen other people do it and I thought it was going to be easy, but it actually isn't. It's actually a pretty difficult process, a lot more difficult than I wanted it to be, but as you can see, there's a lot of issues. So I'm taking to the terrain tool and kind of making a guide for myself to make sure that what I'm working with makes sense. So it was a bit of a process, I will say that. It's not as easy as you might think it is. But at the end of the day, we got there. As you can see, I'm building this nice curve on the very edge of the water, and I think it looks super nice. Beautiful curve, nice gradients. A bit janky, but hey, it's my first try. Here you can see me try to delete some trees. There's actually a lot more tools through the vanilla tree tool, which is really nice. But yeah, this is basically our embanked road. And now we are expanding the rest of our grid. So the first episode, I kind of standardized the size of 88 by 168 grid. You're going to see a lot in this episode us breaking that because, well, cities are a bit more interesting when there's different grids happening all over the place, right? Well, at least I think so. But as you can see, we are building out more grids this way. Some of them connecting to the arterial. Again, crucial not to overload arterial with connections, so we are going to be a little bit more conservative with that. And we're also going to make some inside connections for our neighborhoods. But I think this is turning out pretty nice. I think I like this. So we continue our grid here. As you can see, I'm already kind of changing the size of our grid a bit here. I think it will end up looking pretty nice once we're done. Connecting some more roads to the arterial. And here we reached actually a second milestone. We're going to jump into the upgrades once we're back to live play, but we reached our second milestone. We are now a small village. Gives us education access, a lot of money, taxation, stuff like that. So it's going to be fun to use. So you can see me now completing the grid this way, connecting to the main arterial that way. And as you can see, the grids are getting a little bit broken. So this is kind of maybe not as big of an issue as I think it is for now. But it is a bit of an annoying thing to deal with grids in Cities Skylines 2. They were pretty annoying in Cities Skylines 1, but I feel like they had an opportunity to improve it in this game, but they did kind of. I think there are some systems in place that make certain zones prioritized over the others, and it sometimes works out nice, especially on the curves. But when it comes to like crazy angles like we're working with here, it's not so much. But I'm still building out some grids. It's gonna be fine with us. If something looks super janky, we're gonna go back and redraw some roads, but I think it's gonna be just fine for us. So as you can see, we keep expanding streets, making some cul-de-sacs, making some connections to arterials. This is pretty nice so far. So this little area, I concepted it for a bit. It's going to be our row housing. So we're going to create a little alleyway in between all the backyards. You're going to see it in a bit. We're going to start zoning that. So I'm creating some footpath connection here as well to make sure we have some pedestrian amenities too. And we're going to make a little bit of a neighborhood on this side of the arterial as well. Smaller grid this time. We're going to see how it works out. A bit irregular, but again, it's sometimes irregularity is pretty good. And we're going to finish this off with a nice little curve. Cool, so that parcel is complete. We're going to keep this road going, and we're going to make another neighborhood on this side. I think we're going to go back and fix this. Some of that zoning is awful, but we'll see. Here you can see me connecting it up to the different arterial. Now, some of these connections, they're not super realistic in that they kind of give us the ability to bypass some big intersections, but I think we're gonna deal with it for now. But that's basically our grid. And now you just can see me kind of filling out stuff with trees. Now the system of trees in Cities Skylines 2 is a bit different because now you have to wait for them to grow up, but it's gonna look just fine once it grows up. But yeah, this is our updated grid. It's looking very nice. It's looking a lot less rectangular. There's some realism in hierarchy. Of course, it's not all realistic. I'm still learning, but I really like what we have here so far. So today we're going to be populating all of this, adding a lot of new amenities such as education, of course, maybe more industry, and we're just going to keep working on it. I'm really happy that you guys enjoyed the first episode. Let's get back into the beautiful state of Sherborne. Alright, we're back in it. We're back in the game, and as you just saw, we've kind of expanded our road network quite a bit. So today we're going to work on filling all of this out, adding our residential, high density, low density, as well as commercial. Oh, the game is not working smooth today. That's fine. So we've unlocked a new milestone while I was inside of the time lapse. So I wanted to quickly show you this progression tab, which is not something I showed you in the first one. In fact, I've already unlocked a first milestone, which allowed me to spend a little development point on advanced road services. So what this means is now we have this tab called road services, which allows us to build road maintenance depot, which I don't think we need for now. I'm not really sure how it works just yet, but we do have the ability to turn off traffic lights, which is pretty neat, in my opinion. We can add stop signs, which is something that you weren't able to do in the vanilla game, and it's really cool. And also like turning lanes, as well as removing crosswalks, wider sidewalks. It's honestly a really, really powerful tool. I'm so happy something like this exists in vanilla game. But yeah, we've unlocked that. Now we have 2 new development points. What that means is basically in each of these tabs we have things to unlock. And every time we progress through a milestone, we get development points, some money, and some expansion permits, which just basically means tiles. This is an important addition because it basically allows you to kind of plan out what you want to do. For now, I'm going to leave it as is. I'm not quite sure what to spend the development points on. You let me know in the comments if you know what would be the best game plan for me right now. We're kind of losing money a little bit. We have a lot more expenses than revenues, which is something that maybe we will try to resolve today. But again, I'm not too familiar with the game just yet. We also unlock taxes, so let's bump those up while we're at it to around 13%. That's a sales tax in Ontario. I think they'll be fine. We're fine, so they'll be fine. But let us get into zoning. So, as you can probably tell, we have a very high demand for medium density residential demand. So, like I said, in between episodes, we actually did zone some of this in already. However, I wanted to try again. So, row housing is going to be a great fit here. Again, I'm not too sure if I want to keep it on the main road, but we will for now. We will do something like this. Let it grow out. Oh, actually, it's something I have learned to kind of mediate issues of these lots building sideways. We can just remove this part on the side. Actually, let's keep it 2. So then we can zone it properly after. And then let's hit play, and then these buildings will grow up nicely in these lots. Oh, damn. And then they'll have a nice little alleyway in between, which is super cool. But yeah, this is basically the start for today. We're gonna see these grow up, see where it takes us, and hopefully we'll be in a better place on demand. Actually, demand is gone completely now. So while our demands are not through the roof, let's think about education. We unlocked education officially. This is our new tab now. As you can see, we have no coverage. All the roads are red. We have currently only elementary and high school to worry about. So we will have to think about placement because these are quite large, as you can probably tell. Looks nice. I quite like it. We will have the ability to maybe add something in the future. As you know, we have upgrades. So I just want to test quickly to see if we can fit upgrades. So we can fit this only on the back of it. These can fit, and the playground can also fit. Perfect. So we have enough space for upgrades if need be. But of course, it's going to eat into our expenses. We've just placed a service that takes a lot of upkeep per month. But this will help us with education. And let's also place a high school. So high school is quite large. Let's think of a good spot to place a high school. This road has more potential because it connects us to this arterial on the beach. So maybe we actually put this right here. Let's see. Looks nice. I like the fact that it's kind of close to the cemetery, which looks like a little bit like a park. You know, people jog and walk in parks. That's fine. I don't see a big issue with that. Now let's see upgrades. So we have a sports field, which is not going to fit here. Maybe we can try and think of a better place to put the high school. Okay, I think I actually found a better spot. We've created a little road here, which allows us to basically put our school somewhere like this. I think I quite like this, although we do have some terrain issues. Let's try and resolve this. Okay, so we've expanded our little road to wrap around the parking lots, and this is what we have. Let's check our upgrades and see if we can fit them. We can totally fit a gymnasium and more wings, so this is totally cool. I'm gonna leave it for now. I think this is fine. Let me know what you think about this positioning of a high school. I know it would have been ideal to fit it somewhere in the central part of the city, but this just gives us the opportunity to think of some public transit. Hello. Oh my goodness. Well, I guess they want to learn something. And look at those shiny butts. Nice. That's my first time seeing wildlife in Cities Skylines too. Okay, so this row housing is growing up. While it is, we see a soaring demand for a low density. So we're going to use this opportunity to start zoning on this side to kind of even out our city sprawl. So let's just go in nicely and zone all of this in. Okay, so the demand is gone now, once again. The demands are very fluid in this game. They come and go. Okay, so this is the education and a bit of zoning done. We have a pretty nice frame to work with. I am enjoying this shape, this general shape of the city. This allows us to think about future connections this way, future connections this way, maybe something here, here. I like where this is going so far. We have one big intersection here, which is kind of like the central piece of the town, which has absolutely nothing on the corner yet. Oh, look at these nice little row homes. I'm enjoying the look of this. Looks pretty sweet, actually. Who are you? Huh? Tony Swanson, adult. He's an employer at hard copy bookstore. Where is that? Oh, we're here. That's a pretty nice place. In the center of our commercial core. The mountains look a bit strange in Cities Skylines 2, granted. They are very, like, just a single texture on these cliffs. Oh, look at this, actually. Imagine hiking up this mountain and just looking over a town that we have so far. Pretty cool, eh? Pretty cool. As we can see, the zoning is popping up more and more. We have more and more demand kind of slowly growing in and then disappearing immediately because we have a bunch of stuff zoned in. The start of the game is a little confusing to me. I'm not gonna lie, but I'm enjoying the aesthetic of what we have built here already. This is kind of sweet. Look at that, no issues. Nobody's complaining about anything. Cherish this while you can, because I'm sure the bigger we get, the more issues we will accumulate. 100%. We have an issue already on our hands, and it's expenses. Let's kind of try and remedy this and see what we can improve. So our biggest by far expense is service upkeeps. So we have, of course, a bunch of city services in place. We have a landfill, we have 2 schools, we have, of course, a cemetery, a hospital, and all of that is accumulating a lot of expenses. At the same time, we don't have much in terms of revenues. So I've raised the taxes, and it hasn't really impacted us, did it? Oh my goodness, we can tax individual things here now. Oh my lord, this is a bit crazy, isn't it? We actually do have a rise of industrial demand, which is nice because it gives us the ability to expand our industrial zones a bit more and see if that can remedy our issues. Oh my goodness, what is this? Rock Musician Mansion. Perfect. That's one of those legendary, or not legendary, landmarks, sorry, buildings that we can place. I think we'll wait on those. We are struggling with money right now, so let's expand our industrial. Cool, so I expanded a little bit of our road network this way, closer to the railroad. I think this is going to be a nice aesthetic, going through this industrial park and seeing all the pipes and factories and stuff. This has already grown up pretty cool. What is this? Look at this. Look at this asset. While we were focusing on that, we now have more low density residential demand, so we can start filling out our gaps. For example, We can fill out this rectangle here. Some of this maybe. Okay, so the city is growing up rather fast. I like this. I like this a lot. We have a lot more gaps to fill out, of course. I'm wondering if we can do that today, actually. But for that, we of course do have to get some more demand. I think all of our demand currently is getting taken care of by the stuff we've already zoned, so we're not seeing a lot of growth just yet. Actually, I'm seeing the opportunity to make another connection to the arterial to make sure that we have a nice connectivity, not just one street here. Yeah, this is nice. I like it. Oh, what happened to this arrow here? That didn't load all the way through. A lot of graphical issues with the game. Oh my god. Have you seen that? Those were cartoons. You can see already a new neighborhood has sprawled up on this side of the main arterial going into town, which I enjoyed the look of. Finally, we have some stuff growing up on the corner here, and we actually have a lot of low-density commercial demand growing, which is nice. That means we can expand our city ever so slightly. We can maybe just keep building on this corner, maybe something on the corner here, maybe something like this. Okay, and demand is gone. Alright, we have some more medium density demand, and of course all of it is pretty much filled out here. We have a couple of gaps, but for the most part this is already pretty much done. I was interested in this zoning type, medium density housing, North American style small apartment buildings. This is something new. I'm not sure how this will look, so maybe we can zone some on this side and see what it looks like, just to get a general idea. Okay, it will grow in. So let's just take care of some commercial that we just received. I think some commercial on this main arterial overlooking the industrial would be pretty welcome. I don't think a lot of people would want to live overlooking industrial, so this is going to be just fine. And we have an opportunity once again to get a little footpath going to make sure we have a nice connectivity. Let's try this again. Boom. Oh, that's fine. Paths do that in real life, okay? That's my defense. Does it look ugly? We'll imagine there's a reason why this path isn't straight. So while we're working at zoning, I'm gonna speed this up a bit until we hit something interesting. We're about to hit actually an next milestone, which is probably something that we need. What do we unlock? We unlock a whole lot of things actually. So let's try and get that in this episode. And yeah, I'll get back to you once we do. And here we go, large village. We are officially that now. We've received a whole bunch of more things. Let's check out our progression tab and see what we've just unlocked. So, we've unlocked service budgets, which is something I'm not super familiar with yet. We received some money, which is good. Good. It kind of relieves my stress about losing a whole bunch. And we've unlocked some specialty industry. We've unlocked livestock farming, stone mining, fire and rescue, and police departments. So this is cool. We get to place more services, we get to expand our industry. And while we're at it, let's buy some tiles. So let's think about this strategically. We of course have a lot of industry situated here. Maybe we might as well keep going with the industry on these tiles and build some farming. Yeah, screw it, let's do it. Let's buy these 4. We still have 5 more. We could actually expand the city this way. How about that? Let's just use up all of our permits and buy all of this stuff. And then it gives us ability to expand the city even more, if need be. Currently, we don't really need expansion of our residential/commercial, because we do have a lot of gaps to fill out, so we're gonna wait on that. But as for industry, we now have a lot of space to work with. For farming, coal mining, which we would need to see where our resources are. And yeah, let's start off with services though. We've just unlocked fire and rescue and police. So that's pretty important for any city to have coverage of, you know, fire departments. You don't want to have your house burning down. So we're going to skip through the tutorials because I know everything. And then I'm going to ask you for help. But this should be pretty straightforward. We just need to place it in a place that allows us for the biggest coverage. So where I'm from, I see a lot of fire stations just kind of built into low density residential zones. I'm not sure if that's a case for you guys. So let me know if it is. But I'm thinking to put a fire station somewhere like this. That way it's not on the main arterial, so it's not going to clog up any intersections, but it's close enough that it can reach any destination fairly quickly. And we have, of course, the police station. So police station is the same. We just need to find a nice spot that would work for most of the city. I think we're going to place our police department over here. I think this is a decent space for it. I'm not mad at it. Let's check upgrades. Yeah, it's on the lot, so it's fine. Cool. So we have our new 2 services in the city now, so we should have pretty decent coverage. We are good to move on to some industry. We do have some zoning for commercial. Let's just keep the game going. Let's drop it. Let's drop some more commercial. Maybe this way. Can also drop it some here. Decentralize this city, this street a bit more. I think that's gonna be okay. Yep, that is gone now. And let's just fill out the rest of our neighborhood here with some low density, as we have a lot of demand for it. We don't want to have citizens being unhappy because there's not enough housing. That's a big problem in real world, so I'm gonna make sure that we don't have that problem in the game. Cool, so that is zoned in. We once again have a lot of... Okay, see, this is we've been struggling with demand before, now it's rising like crazy. Our city is expanding a lot. So let's just keep zoning commercial. I'm pretty sure this is gonna come back and to bite us right into the butt. But we will just zone that corner in. What are you complaining about? Waiting for a hearse. It's right here. Don't worry. Cool. Alright, let's focus our attention now to some specialized industry. So this is something I kind of wanted to explore. Let's create a nice gradual climb here and then just keep this road going. So let's create a nice curve. And then this road can just keep going, kind of winding its way through for this part. We can keep it going straight for a bit until it hits this forest, and we will bend it around the forest, I think. I think that would be a nice aesthetic. Somewhere here, and then let's just keep using our new road tools, which I'm very big noob at for now. So I'm not entirely comfortable with these tools just yet, but just give me a couple of months, I'll be an expert. Cool, so I like this. I like this road kind of winding down like this. This arterial can keep going all the way to the river's edge, and then we can think of a bridge once we get to that point. Cool, so let's press pause. We do have a lot of demand. Let's start building our specialized zoning. So what kind of zoning do we have? If we press on a zoning tool, we have unlocked a tab called Specialized Industry, which now has livestock farming with this nice chicken and stone mining. So we can see that there is some land fertility going on here, so this would be a good space for some nice farms, but that will be reserved for grain farm, vegetation farm, stuff like that. We focus right now on livestock farming, which requires nothing. It can be built, as it says right there, anywhere to produce livestock. So we don't want to build it here, of course, but we will build a road off of this. Honestly, the grid doesn't matter here. So we're just gonna build a nice big road. It's gonna meet up with the railroad, and then we're just gonna follow the railroad for a bit until we meet again. Cool. Then create a nice big curve. Awesome. So that creates a nice frame We can keep this road going to meet a dead end or something. And this gives us the ability to now build some farming. So let's try. It's going to be our first attempt. I want to put a farm around here, methinks, on the corner. And now we have access to this amazing tool. So let me show you how it works. We snap it to roads. We can always change this, so we will for now put it here on this break in our grid. And then with all honesty, we can lead it up to here. All the way up to here, here, and here. And boom. Oh my god, this is beautiful. Isn't this awesome? Absolute dream. Now, I've seen a lot of YouTubers pointing this out. It is a bit silly that we have just like random buildings popping up randomly throughout this place, and I do agree, it is a bit silly, but the aesthetic is nice. If you zoom out, the aesthetic is decent. Alright, I'm gonna get back to you. We're gonna zone in some more specialized industry, create some nice big frames here for future farms, and I'll be right back. Alright, so I filled out some more frames like dirt roads and stuff to kind of future-proof some farming zones. We will get back into this in a short second, but we do have a bunch of more demands. I think we're going to fill those out, and we're going to do it in a nice fashion in a time lapse. Before we do that though, let's check out these this medium density, these big apartment blocks. Honestly, they're kind of huge. I didn't expect them to be this big. I thought they were going to be a lot smaller, but I don't mind this aesthetic that much. Kind of makes sense that there would be some more, like, I guess less valuable residential lots next to an industrial zone. They're far enough where they're not like getting sick from pollution, but the view is not that great. Polaris Suits. Another signature building, which we will take a look in the next episode. But we have a lot of demand, so let's alleviate that by zoning. I'll be right back. Okay, so we've waited for some of this stuff to grow up. We've completely filled out this grid here on the right side of our arterial. We've filled out some of our big housing units, which are massive. I didn't expect them, once again, to be this big, but that's okay. I think that's a fine aesthetic. We're just gonna have to balance it out a bit by building some more here. We, of course, expanded a whole bunch of new commercial. So the trick with these is that they need a lot of commercial around them. So we've satisfied that here. So all of these people who live here, they can just cross the road, go to a nice big commercial core. And that is going to be just great for us. We've also added a first livestock farm, which is not that big currently. And judging from this massive demand for industry, we will have to expand that by quite a bit in the next episode, episode number 3. But I think we've reached a decent amount of progress today. We've completely rethought our road frames. We've created a nice big grid for us. Nice opportunities for more connections, nice opportunities for future river crossings and whatnot. So I am happy with where we are today. We have a lot of stuff popping up already. The game is getting slightly overwhelming. But I'm learning. And I hope you guys are learning alongside with me. And I hope you enjoyed this episode of Sherborne in Cities Skylines 2. If you loved it, if you liked it, if you hated it, let me know about it in the comments. I want to read all of them. So don't be shy. I love comments. Keep them coming. Appreciate all the love on the first episode of Cities Skylines 2, by the way. Again, I don't really know much about the game just yet. I'm learning, like I said. So I appreciate all the words of encouragement and love for the channel and what we're doing here. So I appreciate you, and I would also appreciate you if you dropped a like and subscribed for more content of Cities Skylines on the channel. But that is all from me. Thank you so much for watching. And city builders, I'm out.